Engines are honest. Batteries are honest. It is the people around them who get confused. Picture this. It is late afternoon in a quiet suburb. You are watching a parent in a big box store roll a shiny electric bike off the floor. The kid standing next to it is maybe 12. The display sign calls it a fun new way to get around the neighborhood. The parent taps their card, folds up the receipt, and wheels it out like they just bought a toy. A week later, that same kid is on a busy 4-lane road, no plate, no insurance, no training, doing 25 or 30 miles an hour in traffic on something that is, for everyone around them, a motorcycle in everything but name. Welcome back to Haunted Throttle Night Shift. Haunted Throttle. Tune in while you tune up. Tonight we are talking about what happens when electric bikes grow up faster than the law, and your kid's so-called bike starts to look a lot more like a motorcycle. All across the United States over the last year, hospitals, police, and city governments have been saying the same thing in different ways. The crash reports say electric bike. The injury list looks like small motorcycle wrecks. What used to be a slow pedal assist bicycle is turning into a battery-powered rocket with pegs, fat tires, and a twist grip. The rules have been slow to catch up. In this episode we will walk through 4 things. How we got from cute little pedal assist machines to full-size street missiles. What the hospitals and trauma centers are actually seeing. How states started to rewrite the rules in 2025. And what all of that means for riders, parents, and anyone who shares the road. Let us start with the glow up. When electric bikes first showed up in force, most of them fell into a pretty simple structure. Class 1 meant pedal assist only, with a motor that helped you while you pedaled and cut off at a low top speed. Class 2 added a throttle that could move the bike without pedaling. Class 3 bumped the speed and usually required a helmet, maybe a minimum age, maybe no bike trails. On paper that sounded reasonable. The problem is that the market does not read laws. It reads demand. Parents wanted something that felt cooler than a bicycle but cheaper than a scooter or a dirt bike. Teenagers wanted something that could keep up with traffic without needing a license. Delivery riders wanted silent machines that could carry a load but still sneak down side paths. Companies started building to those desires and found every gap in the rulebook. Motors got stronger. Batteries got bigger. Frames started to look less like bicycles and more like small dirt bikes with pedals thrown on at the last minute to keep the word bike on the box. You have seen them riding around. Thick tires, long seats, headlight bright enough for a country road, big battery brick under the frame. The pedals sit so far forward that nobody uses them. The rider stands on the pegs and twists the throttle like it is a mini motorcycle because that is what it has become. From the sidewalk, it still looks like a toy. From the trauma bay, it does not. That brings us to the second piece of this story. Doctors see patterns long before lawmakers do. When you are the one stitching up broken arms and wiring together jaw bones, you notice when a certain machine keeps showing up in the stories. Over the last couple of years, trauma centers in different states started to report something they had not seen before. A sharp rise in injuries tied to electric bikes and scooters. Riders thrown over the bars at city speeds. Younger patients with head injuries and chest trauma, more like what you would expect from a small street motorcycle, not a bicycle that topped out at 15 miles an hour. Firefighters tell their own version. They roll up to a scene and it looks like a motorcycle crash, but when they write the report, the drop-down menu does not have a good choice. So it gets called a bike crash, or an electric scooter incident, even when the thing on the ground weighs as much as a little trail bike. None of this is about blaming the riders. Most of the people on these machines have never been told that the rules changed around them. They did not go to a dealership. They did not sit through a safety talk. They ordered it online or picked it up at a shop with a receipt that said bicycle. Meanwhile, the law is trying to decide what it is willing to call a motorcycle. That takes us into the third part of tonight. The year the rulebook tried to catch up. During 2025, a lot of state-level regulators woke up to the same headache. Their old electric bike laws assumed a low-power motor and a top speed under a certain number. They did not imagine a whole industry of machines that can do 30 or 40 miles an hour out of the box, or much faster once the speed limiter is removed with a code you can find on social media. So the new wave of bills and regulations started to show up. Some states tightened the definitions of the 3 classic classes. Many started to say that once a machine can move under its own power past a certain speed, or if it has a motor above a certain watt rating, it is no longer a bicycle in the eyes of the law. It is either a moped or a full-powered motorcycle. That change comes with teeth. Once your kid's toy has crossed that invisible line, the law may require a plate, insurance, a license, and a minimum age. It may say that machine is not allowed on bike paths or sidewalks at all. It might even come with equipment rules, like working brake lights, mirrors, and a horn. The funny part is that the bike itself does not care. It rode the same yesterday and it will ride the same tomorrow. The difference is what happens after the crash. Imagine two scenes. In the first one, a teenager on an electric bike rolls through an intersection and a distracted driver turns left in front of them. The rider slams into the side of the car, breaks an arm, and cracks a tooth. The family is horrified, but they think, this was a bike wreck. In the second scene, the exact same thing happens a few months later, but by that time the state has updated its rules. On paper, that machine is now a small motorcycle that should have been registered and insured. The rider should have had protective gear and a license. Suddenly the questions from the insurance company sound very different. That is the gap night shift cares about. Not the fine print, but the real-world moment when a family finds out the hard way that the word bike on the box did not match the word in the law. So what do we do with this as riders and parents? That is the last part of tonight's run. First, we have to be honest about what these machines really are. If an electric bike can hit traffic speed with no pedaling, carry a passenger on a long padded seat, and survive potholes that would destroy a road bicycle, then it is not a toy. It is a small motorcycle carrying people we love who may never have had a real safety talk. Second, if you already own one of these machines, it is time to do a quick homework run. Look up the electric bike laws in your state. Find out how your local police, city council, or school district treats them. Some places are relaxed. Others have already started writing tickets for unregistered bikes running in travel lanes. Third, treat training and gear as if the law has already changed, even if the paper has not caught up yet. If you would not let your kid run 35 miles an hour down a busy street on a gas dirt bike without a helmet, gloves, and some basic instruction, do not let the battery-powered version slide by just because it has pedals. Take an hour and show them how to scan for traffic, how to cover the brakes, how to ride like every car has not noticed them yet. Fourth, if you are a rider who has been on big bikes for years, do not ignore this shift just because you already have a license. Those silent little machines are showing up in the same lanes you ride. They are moving faster than you might expect, and the riders often have no idea how your bike stops or how long it takes you to avoid them. Giving them extra space is not just courtesy. It might be the difference between a close call and a crash. Finally, if you happen to sit on a school board, a city council, or any committee that makes local rules, remember what it feels like to roll out of a driveway on something new. People do not read statute books. They read instruction stickers and price tags. If a product is legally a motorcycle in your state, it should not be marketed like a harmless toy to families who think they are buying a fancy bicycle. Pushing for clearer labeling and better education is not a war on fun. It is a way to keep the emergency room from becoming the place where people learn what they really bought. Out in the garage, the difference between a motorcycle and a bicycle is obvious. One has plates and a title. The other does not. But out on the street, in the hands of a teenager or a delivery rider, the lines are getting blurry. The throttle does not care what name you give it. Somewhere tonight a kid is rolling down a hill on a bright new electric bike, grinning into the wind. Somewhere else a parent is scrolling through a news story about new electric bike laws and wondering if those rules apply in their neighborhood yet. And somewhere a legislator is staring at a stack of crash reports trying to turn those numbers into a rule that keeps the roads safer without killing off every new idea. The rest of us are right in the middle, with our own machines in the garage and our own loved ones on the sidewalk. If this episode does anything, I hope it nudges one more person to look at the sticker on the frame, look at the speed on the display, and make choices like they are dealing with a real motorcycle, even if the ad called it something softer. Engines are honest. Batteries are honest. The road tells the truth the hard way. Our job is to bring the knowledge up to speed before the crash does it for us. This has been Haunted Throttle Night Shift. Haunted Throttle. Tune in while you tune up.